Hi, probably already know this, but my name is Stephanie Okuma, and I'm working on a project right now. It's for a farm, basically. Yeah, so it's a business that runs different services, offers different services. The most prominent being a commercial farm. So I'm working on a website for them and I'm starting with a stakeholder interview, right? So I just want to walk you through the process of how I set research questions, and yes, let me share my screen. Screen share. Where am I sharing? Yeah, that guy. Okay, so this is a Notion file, of course, and I already have my objectives listed out. So the first one, to learn about USAFA. So USAFA is the company that I am designing for, the business rather. So to learn about USAFA and what it does, that's the first objective. The next objective is to uncover business goals. Okay, I think I should walk you guys through that. This will be very lengthy. I do not apologize. Okay, I can't spell competition. Nah, get out. So yeah, to learn about USAF and what it does, right? So the first thing I want to do is to be able to understand what it is that this business does, right? So if I do not know what it does, if I do not know its goals, what it's trying to achieve, I will be I can design a solution, right? But who says that our solution will cater to the needs of the business, right? So as a UX designer, I'm not only designing for the users, right? I'm also designing for the business, right? Especially as a UX strategist, which is what I'm focusing on. So yeah, to learn about the safer and what it does, to uncover business goals, like I said, what is this business trying to achieve? You have a farm, so it has about four thematic areas. Let me show you that real quick. So commercial farming, aggregator services, consultancy, trading, right? So those are the four things they do. And I want to understand what they want to achieve with these four things, right? What is the goal of the commercial farm? What is the goal of the aggregator service? What is the goal of the consultancy? What is the goal of the school or like the training program? What are you set out to achieve? The next thing is to identify the value that the business delivers. So, okay, you have these goals, you're doing this, you're doing that, but what value are you giving out? Now, this value can be, the value you're giving to customers, value you're giving to clients, value you're giving to investors, value you're giving to partners. So, what is this value that you're giving out to your business, to what you're giving out of your business rather? I would like to uncover that. Maybe I should say how this affects my design. Okay. So when I know the value that you deliver, it simply helps me communicate that effectively in the design, right? Or in the entire project or whatever output I end up with, right? If I am unable to communicate that value properly or effectively, what we're going to end up with is people coming to the website and feeling like they're not really given what I want, right? The value they have. If I do not communicate it properly, the users or the audience will not see that. And obviously they're not going to click that button, that special button that I would like them to click, right? Whether if it's to, sign up or to sign up for a training consultancy or like buy one of the goods that the business sells, right? So that's why I want to understand what the value is so that I'll be able to communicate that properly. And then same thing for the business goals, right? I want to know where the business is headed. And then it comes, you can say to uncover business goals and strategy. Like what current strategy do you have? And how can I align what I'm working on with that? Right. So the next is to understand why the business needs a website. Okay. So you've told me that you want a website, but why do you want a website? What do you want to do with this website? So it's not necessarily like a digital product, right? Where you know that okay, it's one of the ways to get sign ups, and all of that stuff. Now we're talking about a physical business, so to speak. I could call it brick and mortar, right? I say a lot of terms, just forgive me. I'll stop eventually. Anyway, so I want to know, right? What is this business trying to communicate through their website? Not even what they're trying to communicate. Why do they need a website? Do you need a website? So here are possible things they could need a website for, right? Do they need a website to show investors, hey, look at what we're doing, come and give us your money? Or are they looking to reach clients, right? For say the consultancy side of things, are they looking to reach customers because they sell things like fish and poultry feed, poultry eggs, poultry meat, right? So they sell these things. Are you trying to get customers? Are you trying to get clients? Are you trying to get investors or partners? What are you trying to do with this website? What are you trying to achieve with this website? Why do you think a website is necessary? Why do you think you want a website over an app or over whatever else, right? Over flyers, over physical printed flyers. Do you understand? Because that's another way that you can communicate what your business does and convert users, right, or people. So why do you need this website? To learn what success means in this project and how it will be measured. So as a UX strategist, or even as a person, right, my goal is to always leave an impact or have an impact on whatever I'm doing, right? So I'm working on this project. I want to ensure that at the end of the day, what I've worked on has an impact, either on the business, on the users, or something, right? So what does success look like to this business? What does success look like to this client, right? And then if you say success is like increasing our sales by 30%, I'm going to be like, okay, how are we going to measure that 30%? Right? Because you cannot just say, okay, want to increase it by 30%. All right, fine. I put out the design and you approve it and then it goes live. And then how do we know when we've reached that 30% mark? Or how do we know when we're on the road to 30%? And how long do you want to what's the timeline, right? Before we can measure this, whatever kind of, all of these things, if I do not know them, the project is just going to be upside down, basically. So yeah, the last point, the last objective rather, people should leave me. I like my English the way it is. Leave it. Thank you. So to identify competition and competitive advantage. So I want to know who are those people that are in competition with you, either for the products you're selling or for the client, sorry, for the investors that you have your eyes on, right? So what's going to make you stand out? What's going to make you different? If you're a commercial farm and you're doing this, and Mr. Kelvin has a commercial farm and he's doing the same thing, what is going to make Tony Elumelu pick you and not Mr. Kelvin? Right. So you need to identify your competition and then the competitive advantage. That is what makes you stand out, what makes you different from Mr. Kelvin. And only after we've identified competition and what they're doing can we decide, okay, this is what we can do differently. This is what we can do to stand out, right? So these are the things, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the 6 objectives that I've decided, okay, this will be important to learn at the start of the project. And then if there's anything else I realize later on that would be important to, the overall project, then of course I can always hit the client up again and be like, okay, so this thing popped up and we've decided, we'd need to learn this, learn that. So I did write a script for the interview. Hello, Usman. How are you doing today? We've already met, but just by introduction, I'm Stephanie Kuma. I'm a UX strategist and a team lead on this project. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'll allow the rest of the team to introduce themselves real quick. Team introduce themselves. The aim of this meeting is to get blah, 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 blah. I'll do my best to keep the meeting brief. It's also important that I record this meeting to ensure we do not miss any things. Is this okay with you? All right, let's proceed. Then we hit the questions proper. I did start, as you can see. The first question I have is, can you tell us a little about USAFA and what it is and what it does? So now, remember the aim of this video, I could call it that, is to see how I set my questions for research, but for interviews rather. So even though this is not a user interview, it's the same process I use. So what I'm going to start with is the first objective, right? So I'm going to set questions based on this objective, right? So to learn about USAFE and what it does. So I'm going to say what questions will lead to answers that will inform this objective. I'll say that again. What questions will lead to answers that will inform this objective? So the objective is to learn about USAFER and what it does. And that's why I have this question here. Can you tell us a little about USAFER, what it is and what it does? So I've written that down. So now I'll need to think what other question would I need to ask to ensure that I get all the information I can under this one. So let me think. Allow me to think. I'm a human being. So let me see. About USAFER and what it does. I can't think of anything else because if I ask this, can you tell us this about USAFER, what it is and what it does? It's a broad question, right? And so he's able to tell as much as possible. If it's someone who is passionate about what you're building or what they've built, they'll be willing to speak a lot about it, right? So this may be sufficient. If it's not, then on the fly, I'll be on the go. I'll need to come up with follow-up questions that would further inform the objective. I can ask things like, okay, why is that? Right? Okay, can you tell me a little more about that? Can you explain this further? Right? If you say you sell you're into poultry business, can you tell me a little more about that? What do you do with this poultry business? How do you sell it? How do you rear the birds, all of those things. So I can always ask follow-up questions under this one. I don't write them down because this may be too lengthy and it may be confusing to me, or if anyone else has to use this, say I'm unavailable, it may be a little confusing. So what I'm able to do here is to ask these questions, follow-up questions on the go instead of writing. I may write them out later, especially if I know that I will not be available for this interview. I could write follow-up questions, possible follow-up questions, just have a little thing by the side here that whoever is leading will be able to use. So that's it. That's for the first objective. Ticked done. These were check boxes. I'd have just, checked it or ticked it off. I'm not going to change it to checkbox. But yeah, so the next thing, to uncover business goals. For most of these objectives, I could just ask direct questions that would give me the answers I am looking for. So to uncover business goals. I hate that I have to scroll up and down. I should have had something else here that has the objectives, that carries objectives. Anyway, that's my bad. So okay, to uncover business goals, right? What question will give me answers that will inform the business goal? As simple as it would be, we could simply say, what are your business goals? What are your current business goals? Right? So if I like, I could say, what are you trying to achieve? I don't include that, right? Because I do not want to necessarily explain this to the stakeholder or stakeholders. I want them to just tell me from their understanding. Obviously, if you're running a business, you should know what your business goals are. If you don't, then obviously you could, the stakeholder could state that, and then I could, we could help come up with business goals. One of the duties that you have as a UX strategist in particular is to help the business uncover their goals, their strategy, and their why. So even when they do not know this, you can help them, uncover that. Of course, I think I mentioned this on Twitter a while back that it's going to, be more dollars for you. But yeah, right back into it. So this answers that question. What are your current business goals? To uncover business goals. Yeah. And then again, follow-up questions if I need more understanding on a particular goal or where it's headed, I'd always ask, right? So what are your current business goals? Okay, so if they say to let's bring up a fake goal, right? And say to okay, the aggregator service, for example, what they do is that they bring together produce or goods from various farmers and just amplify their reach or broaden their reach. So let's say a goal is to impact the lives of smallholder farmers across the country. Hmm. What a goal. But yeah, it's a reasonable goal. So yeah, it's not a smart goal in the sense that it's not, especially it's not measurable. But yeah, let's just say that is a goal. So I'd want to ask a question like, okay, and what is that like? Or how do you intend to do this? Do you understand? So I could always ask follow-up questions concerning specific goals if I'm not clear on them, so that of course, so that I become clear on them, and then it's able to inform my decisions better. So identify the value that the business delivers. Okay. Like I said, for most of these questions, we could just have straight up questions. But let me take some time to think and see if I can have a question, a different question from the basic, what value does your business bring? Because that's the first question in my head. So let's see. Hmm. What value will you say your business delivers? It's basically the same thing, right? But yeah, what value will you say? Will you say? Would you say? Feels like would you say? I'm not changing it. Okay. So what value will you say your business delivers? Yeah, I think that works. Does it? If it doesn't work, I just silently watch it. That's on you, to be honest. That's on you. So what value will you say your business delivers? So potential follow-up questions. I hope Notion doesn't embarrass me right now because I'm about to do something I cannot say I am sure how to do, but let's go for it. Oopsie, let's use this instead. What value will you see your business delivers? I've forgotten the follow-up questions I had. What value will you say your business delivers? And so, okay. So other questions I had, it was this to customers, like I mentioned earlier, to clients. So I'm separating clients from customers because in this sense, the business serves, customers that buy like the poultry, meat, eggs, boy, and they also offer consultancy services and training programs, right? So in an instance like that, we can refer to those ones as clients, while the people that are buying the fish and the eggs are right customers. That's how I'm able to differentiate them. And then of course to investors slash partners. What value are you giving out to these three categories of people? So we'll go back to our list. Nope. Never ask me Notion, please. Yay, thank you. So yeah, we've worked through three so far to understand why the business needs a website. Simple as that. Why? Oops. Can you tell me why you believe your business needs a website? So you may not always get the best answers at this point. You may get other things that I've tweeted about this as well, how that a client was telling me everything else aside the why. So now the key point here is the why. I feel like I should capitalize that, right? So what you want to really uncover here is why they need this website. This is one of the important parts of UX strategy, right? Because UX strategy always seeks to answer, why are we doing this? Amongst other things, right? But I feel like the main thing, not I feel like the main thing you try to uncover, with strategy is why, right? Why are we doing this? So why are we building this website? Why do you think your business needs a website? So if the stakeholders do not give you a good answer, you may need to ask again and again, not again and again, don't just ask why, but try to rephrase your question every time, or at least once or twice until the client is able to fully understand what you want or what you're trying to communicate or the question you're trying to ask, and then they're able to give you. Now, this is another instance where if they do not know their why, you will help them uncover that why, right? And again, more of this for you. So yeah, don't worry too much about the money though. Life is not about money. Okay, I hope I believe that. So yeah, can you tell me why you believe your business is a website? And then, all right, so that's where answer we just asked this one, right? So now we're looking at this one. Oopsies. To learn what success means in this project and how it will be measured. Okay. So here we have two things. First is to learn what success means, and the next is how it will be measured. So we're going to start with the first half of it to learn what success means. The success. What does success mean to you? I like this because I don't want the person to start telling me, oh, success means when I am rich and I'm famous. I don't care about you. I do care about you. But my focus here is on the what you might call it project, right? So what does success in this project look like to you? Don't do that. So then I don't say a follow-up question, but what does success in this project look like to you? I also want to ask, um, what do you hope? Okay, this could be like a follow-up question, right? If the person or the stakeholder does not give a good enough response to that question, you can ask something like, what must happen for you to consider? I don't know why I'm typing so slow today. Anyway, what must happen for you to consider this project a success? Right? So is it the conversion you're looking for? Is it more traffic on the website? Is it, what would success look like? What's that thing that must happen for you to say Stephanie did a great job? Do you get? So that's what you want to uncover with that. So now we move to number 6. Now we're still going to be on this one because we've treated the first half to know what success means, right? So now we're looking at the second half, which is how it will be measured. Simple as that. How do you intend? Oh, we shouldn't put it on stakeholder, right? Because we should work together. How will this be measured? You've said the client has probably said a lot of stuff like this was success look like that's what success will look like. How will this be measured? And if they say success will be multiple things, right? Or if multiple things must happen for for the project to be considered a success, what you want to do is to ask for the what you call it for the measure, yes, how it be measured for each of those items that were listed. So all the things they say they want more traffic on the website, they also want more conversion rates, they want more sales. Okay, what does more traffic? How will more traffic be measured? How will increase in conversion rates be measured? How will increase in sales be measured? You want to be able to find out how to measure each of those things so that you're not just left in the dark assuming, oh, have they reached the 30% mark? Have they done this? Have they done that? But you're able to measure it and you're able to work with the team, to measure. In some instances, you do not need to measure it. Sometimes, especially if they have, their own in-house, a product manager, anything, they could just run product analysis, although this is a website. Yeah, they could use other analytic tools if they have that, and Google Analytics is great. So they could use all of that, to measure the impacts and then, communicate that with you, or you can work with them, to uncover this, whatever works. How will this be measured? Simple question. Next is to identify competition. These questions are so brief. Interesting. To identify competition and competitive advantage. Again, two things. So the first is that's not the first. First is to identify competition. Who are your competitors? Who are your competitors? Straight up. You know what? Who are your top three? 3 or 5? Say 5. Let's not be lazy. Who are your top 5 competitors? Competitors. It will competitors. Ah, I got it. My enemies will not triumph over me. Who are your top five competitors, right? And then who are your top five competitors? There'll be a lot of follow-up questions to this, right? So the first thing, of course, is who they are. The next is what is their business model? And there are a lot of questions you can ask under this, right? But the stakeholder or the client may not always know the answer to these questions because I want to ask things like, okay, what is their business model like? They may not always know that. Do they have a website? And how is that website doing? So just put that. Do they have a website? How now there are tools that you can use to check out websites, like other websites, traffics on them. I haven't used them. I think what I'm going to do is I'll try to use them and then I'll share feedback sometime when I release this video or something like that. So do they have a website? How is their website doing? Like asking how's your dog doing? It's like how's your mom doing? But yeah, how's the website doing, right? From the best of your knowledge. If they do not know this, that's absolutely fine. You may need to uncover that yourself. But it's a question worth asking. What is their business model? Do they have a website? How is their website doing? Um, what kind of what kind of goods? How do I phrase this? I want to ask like okay, so this business I'm working for, they have poultry, eggs, meats. Oof, what else? Feed, fish, right? And then so that's the commercial farming side of things. They have that. So I want to ask, is the competitor selling the same thing, right? Or are they selling turkey and goat and pig instead, right? So let's say what kind of goods is your competition selling, right? You also want to know what other services do they offer because remember this our company, our business offers what do you call it? Aggregator services, consultancy, and training. Is it training? I know it's training people, but what's the name for it? Yeah, it's training. So yeah, that. So what other services? You saw it and didn't tell me I was typing rubbish. Oh, wow. What other services do they offer? Let's see. Anything else? For your top five competitors, what is their business model? Do they have a website? How's their website doing? What kind of goods is the competition? What kind of goods are they selling? Because we're already talking about competition, so no need repeating that. What kind of goods are they selling? Okay, thank you, Kamali and Ocean. What other services do they offer? Let's see. I can't think of any other, but if I do in the future, I probably will add it. So yeah, there's that. We're going to number 8. I think we're done with who I identify the competitors. Next is their competitive advantage. What do you do differently from these competitors? Why am I struggling to spell this? I remember the spelling bee I was at, and I had to spell the word. What do you do? Thank you, Kamali. I was at the spelling bee, and I had to spell the word curriculum vitae. And then I was spelling CURR, and then I have to pronounce curriculum CURRICU curriculum because I had to like be saying the word over and over to remember what I was spelling. And that's the same thing that I had to do with or having to do with computers. I don't know why. I'll have to be typing as well. Anyway, you're not here to hear about my life stories. I'm sorry. Do not mind me. Let's get back on track. Competitive advantage. So that's what we've just asked, right? What do you do differently from these competitors? Then follow-up questions. Where's that guy? There you are. See, go away. Come in. Oops. Focus. Thank you. What do you do different from these competitors? What can you do differently? So this one, even though they even if they state what they do differently, right, that's fine and good, but is there anything else that we can also do differently going forward, right? What can we do different? And if they don't do anything differently already, we need to uncover ways where we can be different, because again, we need that competitive advantage. So again, if they do not know this, that's fine, right? You can work with them to help identify this. So yeah, those are the questions I was able to come up with for these objectives. So the objectives, once again, to learn about Safer and what it does, to uncover business goals, to identify the value that the business delivers, to understand why the business needs a website, to learn what success means in this project and how it will be measured, to identify competition, absolute Grammarly to leave me alone, and competitive advantage. The questions I was able to come up with. Can you tell us a little about Safer, what it is, and what it does? This is literally the same thing as the objective. Anyway, the answers, it will give me the information I need. So that's all that matters. So again, just to break through, you do not need the perfect questions, right? You only need questions that will give you the answers you're looking for. So even though this question is very similar to the main objective itself, what is important is that it's going to give me the information I'm looking for. And that is what really matters when it comes to setting questions. So the second question, what are your current business goals? What value will you say your business delivers to customers, to clients, to investors and partners? 4, can you tell me why you believe your business needs a website? What does success in this project look like to you? What must happen for you to consider this project a success? This is a follow-up question to that. Next is, how will this be measured? Go away. Next is, who are your top 5 competitors? What is your business model? Do they have a website? How is your website doing? What kind of goods are they selling? What other services do they offer? And then the last question, what do you do differently from these competitors? And what can you do differently? Well, that brings us to the end of this. So basically, what I've done is to set the objectives first, and these objectives fed the questions that I needed to ask, right? So I just look at the objectives one after the other, and then I set questions that will help me, answer that. And so yeah, that's basically it. Thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. If I'm uploading this to YouTube channel, most likely Design Creeks, please do what do you call it? Follow, subscribe. No, they don't follow on YouTube. Subscribe. I'm not YouTuber, I'm sorry. But yes, subscribe to our channel, like this video, and we hope to see you back here soon. Thank you for your time. Bye.